What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rims. This is TNN, and we signing in today. We got a lot of things to cover today. So without any holdbacks or anything like that, let's just jump right into it. This week, of course, we had a big game between Colorado and Oregon. Shout out to Prime and his boys. Unfortunately, last night was not the night for the Buffaloes. Everybody is well aware of the fact that Travis Hunter was out due to an injury from the previous game. I think another thing that I was aware of from the previous game is that the game against Colorado State didn't pan out the way we exactly wanted it to, which is basically how this game panned out for the Oregon Ducks, which is a blowout. It was very close to being a shutout. They had a one touchdown that was scored by number 87, I believe. I believe he's like a redshirt freshman that caught that, and that was the only touchdown that the Buffaloes had. As far as how Oregon played, them boys came out to play. And I mean, from the first down, it was kind of evident that Buffalo did not have an answer for that run game. Their quarterback, I believe his name is Bo Nix or something like that. He had a great game. He actually looked like he was teaching a master class, and they just kept advancing the ball. It got to the point where they weren't even kicking punts. They were just taking it on fourth down, taking the 2-point conversions, making punt fakes. I mean, if you've ever played organized football ever in your life, if you could think of any way to disrespect your opponent without like blatantly saying it, the actions that were shown on the field yesterday was like, we don't respect your team. Like, we don't, not like a personal disrespect. It's more like, y'all not there yet. And, I know Colorado was saying, we here. Well, when they arrived at Oregon, man, they got sent home. Shador, had some big runs, but he was getting clobbered all night. If I was a defensive coordinator, man, I would have them defensive linemen doing up downs till the next morning, because it's almost like they weren't even there. I don't think they had one sack on the opposing team, not one sack, and that says a lot about the discipline of the Oregon Ducks, and it also says a lot about how unprepared the defensive linemen were for this game. Because if you think about it, in terms of possession, this game was just Oregon's offense versus the Buffalo's defense. And yeah, they got some key stops. I think we were able to force a field goal at one point, I believe they stopped them on a 2-point conversion before the end of the first half. But other than that, I know Prime was on the sideline shaking his head like, what happened? But I think a lot of the things that Prime was trying to rectify from the previous game, making these guys hold themselves more accountable, making sure that they're practicing full speed and that they have motivation and that they also don't settle, and constantly try to improve. I think all these things were things that if you watch the YouTube for that Colorado channel, you can tell that Prime was trying to rectify some of the issues that he saw with players not believing and players just not coming to play. And without Travis, I mean, this became a big onslaught. I do believe that if Travis Hunter was there, they would have been able to put up more points on the board. Would they have been able to win? I mean, even with Travis there, it would have been a very, very close game, and that would have been the best thing that could happen. But I think the Ducks were definitely more disciplined. They were solid. I believe the DB Brandon Dorless, he almost had a couple picks. And shout out to Shador. You got to give him credit for not fumbling the ball. You got to give him credit for not throwing interceptions. And that's about as solid game as you can have when you can't even get 2 seconds to throw the ball. So shout out to Shador. He did what he could, but man, that old line got to step up. That D line got to step up. Everybody has to step up, and that's really all you got to do. They got another big games. I think 6 of their next couple of big games are like Big Ten or top 10 players. So this is Oregon at number 10, and we see the result. No games to be played with. So I believe it ended at 42-6 with the Oregon Ducks coming out on top. So yeah, it's a bummer, but we gotta be able to take the losses with the wins. In fact, I personally think it's good for them to get this kind of an ass whooping early on, because the last thing I would want is for them to go 6-0 and then get upset like this in the middle of the season. I mean, at least they were the underdogs, and at least this is still early enough in the beginning for them to kind of correct themselves and turn everything around. So shout out to Prime. Our boys keep working hard, and we just gonna keep watching, man, because I see nothing but good things happening for y'all anyway. Now, next topic. I really wasn't gonna say anything about this situation, but to my millions of subscribers who haven't subscribed yet, because I'm speaking it out into existence, I felt like they would have wanted me to comment on this, so I'm gonna comment on this. This whole Nicki Minaj Big Zoo thing is really, really troubling, and I think those reasons got pointed out in the short that I did, that kind of showed. I think academics hit it right on the head. All those dudes in the video look old enough to be getting a colonoscopies checked. Pause. It means that all these dudes got to be at least 40. So it makes you wonder, why are grown men standing outside of a building, standing next to a car, outside of a, wherever the, bodegas, whatever, in the studios, 100 deep, no one's making music. What's going on? I truly thought that after a certain age, some of the stuff that we do in hip hop becomes so uncool. In fact, I remember somebody saying that it's easy to point out the age of a black man by the way they wear their hat. And I know a lot of that stuff came up with Prime and the situation with Coach Norvell, but it's true. If you see, kind of like an older, more established black gentleman, who has a couple businesses and, is doing his thing or is retired, whatever, veteran, most of the time they keep themselves clean cut and, they rock a nice watch, they keep a belt, nice jeans or a nice shirt, and every now and then if you see them with a hat, their hat is turned forward. And if you look at a kid, 9 times out of 10, somebody who's under that age range, you're gonna see that hat, kind of tilted back, rocked off to the side, backwards. So it's a lot you can see in people's mannerisms and how old they are. Unfortunately, with the way Nicki's goons, if you want to call them that, that sounds so corny, but I'm just gonna call them that. The way Nicki's goons look in these videos, because at first I thought she wasn't signing off on this because it was just Big Zoo in that one video. But when you see her in the video, and she's kind of like, she's the ringleader of this shit, like Academics said. And I'm told that she's 40 plus, which I didn't know she was that old. I thought she was mid-30s. But I'm told she's 40 plus. And you can actually hear her kind of like instigating this. All that runs through my head is, first of all, I thought this was like a girl beef. And if it's a girl beef, why do you got a bunch of dudes in the video? Like, are you trying to scare Offset? And if that's the case, when did he come in the picture? Do you even know Offset? Like, that's the thing that is kind of making me, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, there's no history, there's nothing. It looks stupid. It looks stupid. And the only people that could think clips like this look cool are probably still in middle school or have a very, very low education and a high level of toxicity in their life. I just gotta say, man, to all the people involved in this, y'all need to grow the fuck up. Just grow up, man. This shit is stupid. Y'all don't look cool at all. Y'all don't look tough at all. First of all, if you really was gonna do something to anybody for any reason, why would you broadcast that on the internet? Can anybody answer that? Why would you broadcast that on the internet for the world to see? It just makes you look like a dodo. And it's gonna be the first thing that the prosecution brings up, just like we see in these Melly trials, which I'm gonna get onto next, is all that dumb shit you put online. The minute somebody gets hurt, or the minute somebody runs to the po-po, all this shit is evidence. It's all public info. So why would you volunteer any of this information? Why would you volunteer the fact that you have guns? If I'm this type, if I'm the type of person that has 100 guns with me, I don't want you to know that. Because when things happen, I need to be able to call them so that you can't connect me to them. But that's just me thinking out loud. It really is troublesome to see grown-ass people act out of their age, especially when they have millions. When they have millions and they have, they have success. When the whole John Morant thing came up, all I could think is, man, you're getting paid close to $250 million after it's all said and done. You're getting paid close to $250 million. I think it's a small ask for you to not just show your guns. Nobody's telling you not to have them, but I think it's a small ask for people to not have to see your guns and you can keep making your $250 million. Well, it's the same thing with Nicki. I think Nicki's an awesome artist. Perhaps arguably the best female artist out right now. But this is not it. This ain't it. In fact, I think she's going the same route that Meek Mills went, or Meek Mills has done in the past couple of years, where very talented artist, but every time she comes out on social media, she comes out of her ass. Like, you look like a fucking idiot. Keep making music and you'll be fine. But this Big Zoo shit, that Big Zoo shit gonna get you locked the fuck up. Because it looks like you advertising for a RICO case. But hey, that's neither here nor there. So another topic in news that was big this week was Melly was trying to get some bail. His lawyers were saying that there wasn't enough substantial evidence to keep him held any longer, which the judge quickly shot that down, after taking a couple days to decide, and said, there's definitely a lot of evidence, that has been brought up to this case, on top of the fact that Juvie's mom was also saying that she didn't want YNW Melly to get out. So it's evident that he's not getting out until this next trial. I thought the Portland case would have started by now, but I think some things got pushed. Some things got pushed back, or they're still deciding on whether to try them both at the same time, which will really make things interesting. Nonetheless, Melly's still locked up, and there's no sight in terms of what new evidence is going to be brought. It looks like they're going to be interviewing Moretti again, so prepare to fall asleep. It sounds like it's going to be another boring trial with a lot of the same evidence and just a different jury selection. So we'll have to see what happens in this Melly case, but I'll keep you guys posted. Would love to see you guys comment, like, and definitely subscribe, to get me to that future million that I was talking about. But other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your week and stay up and make sure you control the narrative. Be out.